famous poet that he felt like a fraud. The more famous poet told the most famous poet that we're all frauds. Months passed. I thought about this story often. Although the details were masked, everyone was given pseudonyms and the events were allegorized. When the more famous poet published a new book, I recognized immediately this story in one of the poems. I'm 10. I memorized the lyrics to a verse of Curtis Blow's AJ Scratch, replacing AJ with Noah G, my first foray into slant rhyme. I sing the verse to myself, to my stuffed animals, teachers, to schoolmates, to anyone who will listen. Up in the Bronx where the people are fresh, there was one DJ who had to pass the test, and now he's down by law, and he's ready to play. That's right, y'all, his name is Noah G. He never gets nervous when he cuts the beat. He gives top-notch service in the clutch of the street. I don't know where the Bronx is, what clutch means, or how one becomes a DJ. All I know is the infectious, unadulterated pride that pours through my entire being when I'm praised for the ingenuity of my lyrics. My middle school Spanish class is a nightmare. I can't spell, I can't pronounce the words, I can barely summon enough attention to look in the teacher's direction, let alone listen to whatever it is she's saying. An episode of the 80s sitcom Growing Pains I'd seen only once remains with me. Cocky slacker Mike Seaver, planning to cheat, writes on the soles of his shoes. As the test is administered, he doesn't look at them. Answers are coming with ease. The mere act of copying allowed him inadvertently and unknowingly to learn the material. Stretching out after the test as a self-congratulatory gesture, he kicks up his feet, the laugh track peaking when the teacher sees the bottoms of his shoes. The obvious moral here is about effort. However, for me, it is one of ingenuity. Shoes are just too risky. I copy vocabulary words onto a small piece of paper, folding it over and over until it's the size of a quarter. I hide it in my palm, manipulating its tiny geometry with a thumb. There is something surgical and tender about the act. I am caring for the world's smallest animal. Afterwards, I eat the paper. Why is there someone else's name on this poem? I say, handing my student a printout of the same poem she turned in last week as her own. I don't know. Someone must have stolen it from me and put it up on the web. I think I had it on my blog, so anyone could have put it up on their site. I mean, it's mine, I wrote it. Like a while ago. I wrote it a while ago, but it's been online for a while now, so someone could have put it on their site, or someone could have put it somewhere else. I think someone stole it from my site. It's not a particularly remarkable poem, nor even glaringly dissimilar from the rest of the work done by those in this class. In fact, I'm certain that had I not received a tip via email from one of her classmates with a link to this poem online, I'd be none the wiser. The poem reads, "Last night you left me and slept your own deep sleep. Tonight you turn and turn. I say, you and I will be together until the universe dissolves. You mumble back things you thought of when you were drunk." This is a poem by Rumi, I tell my student. All you had to do was turn in a poem of your own. To be completely candid with you, it wouldn't have made any difference to me if it were a horribly written poem, as long as you were the one who wrote it. I mean, I wrote the poem, like a long time ago. I know it was supposed to turn into something new, but it's mine. It's my poem. Maybe Rumi took it from my site and put it up somewhere else. This almost makes me want to forgive her. Almost. My mother writes my name with nail polish on a lunchbox. The applicator is imprecise, smearing a few letters. We eat lunch on the playground. Afterwards, someone points at the box. "Who's Nola Gordox?" "He's the river monster," someone else yells. "Run." Here are the rules to the Nola Gordox river game. All of the wood chips are lava, a river of lava. If you step in it for more than 10 seconds, you burn to death. Nola Gordox lives in the lava. If he grabs you, you're dead. There is no loitering. If you're standing on one piece of equipment for too long, you're dead. Too long is too long and you're dead. You have to move across the river and all around the jungle gym or you die. The game lasts until recess is over or everyone is dead. You can't kill Nola Gordox. No one can. Yeah, it's funny now, but when you're a kid, it's horrible. I slide the small die-cast letters onto a waxed leather string, a tiny spacer between each, clamping down the clasps with pliers before handing the impatiently jittery man standing next to me the necklace. D-A-Z, here it is, I say. He passes me a 20, far too much, tells me to keep the change, that he'll be back with a big list of names. Okay, but I'm closing down in about an hour, I tell him. I've been working for Roger for nearly 2 years now. He owns 5 jewelry carts in Boston, all within a few blocks of one another. I spend the day moving from cart to cart, giving bathroom and lunch breaks, restocking our supplies, filling in for those too sick or just too hungover to make a shift. I've made hundreds of these name necklaces, some innocuous, Jill, Carlos, Freddie, some inane, Yankees suck. Once, unable to stop my hands shaking from last night's damaging festivities, I tucked the pieces to a guy's name into a tiny plastic bag, passed it to him with the admission that I couldn't bring myself to put the thing together, that he could have the letters free of charge. Half an hour passes. The man hasn't returned. A few years from now, sitting in a crowded dining hall in the UMass campus reading Emerson's essay, The Poet, I'll think nostalgically about today when I come across the following passage. The poet is the namer, or language maker, naming things sometimes after their appearance, sometimes after their essence.